if you're talking about repealing this, where's the replacement, you know?
Here's what you're replacing with. Thank you for your question.
Okay, and where can we review this proposed legislation first?
Thanks. Thank you.
It's one thing to get rid of it, but where's the replacement? It's going to take 2 years, 5 years to get something that replaces it.
Thank you. I actually think, depending upon how this election shakes out, I think Republicans and Democrats are going to come together on a few things. And I actually believe there are a number of Democrats, especially in the Senate, who don't at all like Obamacare. They're just not saying that. So I think Republicans and Democrats can come together on some health care reforms after this election once we get rid of Obamacare. Republicans and Democrats will vote together to allow all Americans to shop across state lines for health care. We'll start there. Republicans and Democrats will come together to enact major tort reform. Second reform. Republicans and Democrats will come together to expand health savings accounts, to expand these programs where we begin to allow Americans to plan for and save for their own healthcare costs. And I believe, actually, Republicans and Democrats, I think, can come together next year to finally get serious about Medicare. See, here's politics scares a lot of politicians. Elections do. Every politician in Washington knows the following. Tammy Duckworth knows this. Every politician, Republican and Democrat, knows that if we don't do anything to Medicare, anything, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, it's gone. I want all my seniors to hear that, because the Democrats like Duckworth are trying to scare seniors. Understand, seniors, if we don't do anything to Medicare, say goodbye to it in about 7 to 9 years. Now, I have yet to meet the senior, put your hand down. I have yet to meet the senior who says, I don't care, don't touch Medicare. Because every senior I've spoken to wants Medicare around for their kids and their grandkids. Even the Republicans were so aware of that the Republicans in our plan for Medicare, remember, we said if you're 55 or older, nothing changes. Nothing changes. If you're younger than 55, something's got to change, or people younger than 55 won't have anything. I want you to think about something. So every politician in Washington knows that. Only the House Republicans put forth a plan to save Medicare. What happened to the Democrats on this one? What happened to Obama? What happened to Duckworth? You know what they're doing, seniors? I'm going to direct this at our seniors. They're trying to scare you. They're so trying to scare you. They're trying to scare you. Instead of having the courage to say to the American people, okay, you got us. Medicare is going to be gone in 8 years. Yeah, we have to do something about it. No. They think so little of you that they're going to try to scare you. I don't think it's going to work this year because healthcare, like every issue, I think the American people are way past the politicians. They're ready to say, I want to get back to a good, decent country where we don't have this government that's suffocating us and where we have a government that lives within its means. And if that means we have to make changes to Medicare and everything, I'm fully prepared to do it. What else, guys? Questions? Yes, sir.
Hi, Joe. Hate to bring this one up, but I have to.
Close that door.
What the heck did you do with this abortion issue, and what is your official stance?
Really easy. Here's my official stance. And again, nobody should be confused on where Walsh and Duckworth stand. I am pro-life without exception. Tammy Duckworth is pro-abortion, no restrictions, taxpayer funding of abortions. Let me tell you what my stance is. As I said last week, there are always rare circumstances where a pregnancy needs to be terminated to save the life or health of the mother. And that's done. And that decision is up to that mother and that family. Okay?
Any other exceptions?
Well, the common exceptions that people who are pro-life without exception are in cases of rape and incest. Horrific, evil, terrible events. in cases like that, I am still pro-life. There's still a life there. But I want you to hear me, guys. Again, this is a personal issue. We're all where we are. I am pro-life. My opponent is pro-abortion, no restrictions, late term, partially alive unborn children. She's against parental notification. And she supports taxpayer funding of abortions. I got to tell you, most Republicans and Democrats have always come together on that one. Good people across the spectrum are in different places when it comes to abortion, but generally we've all said no public funding. So, you all decide on that issue. The final point I'll make, there isn't a member of Congress that's held more town halls than me in 2 years. I've probably spoken to 17,639 people. I mean, I've probably been asked about abortion or life 6 times. Because this year, it's kind of like, here's what it's like. This is what kind of cracks me up about what Ms. Duckworth is doing. It's like the country's house is burning down right now. We're not working. Our economy is about to go into another recession. It's not growing, and we're flat broke. Our house is burning down. But Ms. Duckworth doesn't want to talk about that stuff, so she picks these other issues, like abortion, like gay rights, all important issues, but what about the house that's burning down? Tell me, Ms. Duckworth, how are you going to get this country working again? Tell me, Ms. Duckworth, what are you going to do about our debt? Our debt right now, hey, what's your name? Yeah. What's his name? Gianni. Our debt right now, Gianni right now, look at that face. Stand up, Gianni. Stand up. Come here, you. Watch out, he's getting through. Make room for Gianni. Make room for Gianni.
Sounds like a song.
Come here. Come here, you. Oh, I'm getting old. Hey! What are you going to do, Miss Duckworth, about the fact that right now, poor little old Gianni has about $56,000 of debt on top of his head? Way to go, America. Way to go, all of us. Our politicians and all of us. Look what we're doing to Gianni. What are we going to do about that? Now, Miss Duckworth, maybe abortion's more important right now, if that's how you feel. But I think there's nothing more important right now than making sure that Gianni has a prosperous country to grow up in. And that Gianni doesn't pay our bills. Gianni, you're a superstar. Look at you. Right? But right now, because Miss Duckworth and President Obama, they want to talk about all these other things to try to scare seniors and scare women. Right now, your country, if we don't do what we need to do, Gianni, look how handsome he is. 30 years from now, he's going to be making good money. But shame on us, because we as a country haven't grown up. Gianni's probably going to be taxed at about a 95 or 96% left rate to pay our bills. I'm almost done, Gianni. Last point, Miss Duckworth. She won't talk about this. Right now, Gianni's government, every day, our government goes to its banker. Every single day. And our government every day sits down with its banker, and our government asks to borrow $4 billion. Every single day. And you know what? Our government fills out the paperwork, and at the bottom, the banker asks, as a banker is wont to do, well, Mr. Government, how are you going to pay back that $4 billion? You know what our government's saying right now? Oh, don't worry, Gianni's generation will pay it off. Put it on Gianni's head. Sun goes down. No, don't smile about that, Gianni. Hey, you can tell we have to rehearse this. So, the sun goes down, Gianni, and then the government wakes up the next morning, and the government goes right back to its banker and borrows another $4 billion. I don't know about you folks. This is what keeps me up at night. I respect people who have opinions on every issue. But right now, with that country's house burning down, and us about to deliver to Gianni a country less free and less prosperous, I think we as a country better focus on the issues that matter. And right now, Gianni, right now, we've got 12 days left in this election. And I'll tell you, if you follow my race, it's like Duckworth and I are running on two different planets. All Duckworth's talking about are Joe Walsh's personal issues and abortion.
Yeah.
Hold on. Joe Walsh's personal issues and abortion. That's all she can talk about. And I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing since I got in this race. I'm going to talk about how to save a country for Gianni. I'm going to talk about how... talk about how to get this country working again, how to get our economy growing again, and how to get our politicians, and yes, all of us people, to have the courage to do what we need to do so we don't bankrupt Gianni. You with me? Yes, ma'am.
Just recently I was laid off, and I was laid off from my hospital.
Yeah.
And this Obamacare bill is starting to affect the hospitals and layoffs.
Yes, it is.
Also, because I was laid off, I also received Social Security. I went to file for unemployment, and I was denied because of the formula in Illinois, I cannot receive unemployment. So I was looking at
I'll tell you.
what I want to say as to, is this counted as in part of the unemployment figures? People such as me?
No. Long-term unemployed isn't counted, and those who have become so discouraged that they've quit looking for work aren't counted. Guys, you understand some of the crazy things your government does?
Yes.
No, man.
Hold on. We have this thing called the unemployment rate, but yet we don't count people who are working part-time because they can't find full-time work. We don't count people who have become so discouraged they've quit looking for work. Now, how in God's name are they not unemployed? When you add up all these other groups, the unemployment rate in this country is somewhere between 15 and 19%, and it could be higher. Look, and again, this isn't complicated. Maybe we're only 12 days out, so I'm going to simplify things. This isn't complicated. Obama and Duckworth believe that thing called government creates jobs. That's what Obama's done for 4 years. Walsh and Romney believe that Pilot Pete's and all these other businesses out here, they're the ones who create jobs. And all they want their government to do is give me the basic rules of the road, let me keep most of my money, don't regulate me to death, and then get out of my hair. This has always been the greatest country in the world because we've had a government that hasn't sat on innovation and free markets and the small businessman. It's always been the country, better than any country in the world, where you could come up with this idea, any idea, you can draw this idea, you can go down into your basement and build one of these things. You can raise money from your brother or your father or your friends and go try to turn this idea into a business. And if you're successful, you can hire some people. And then you move out of your basement and you open up a warehouse in Elk Grove and away you go. This has always been the country where that's easier to do than anywhere else. Do you know what? This is why people have come here. You know what makes me so sad is when I do these town halls or any event, and usually, always at the end, I'll be walking out and somebody will grab me by the arm, and he or she is always from an Eastern European country, and he always hits me over the head and he says, "Congressman." I was never very good at accents. "Congressman, do you know what you're doing? Do you guys know where you're going? This is what I ran away from. I ran away from big government. I ran away from socialism. I ran to America because I had freedom in America.